Cambridge, Massachusetts. Perched alongside the Charles River, this 6.4 square mile piece of land has been ranked as the best city to live in America and the best city in America for young professionals. Behind all of the awards and recognition, the city is supported by over 1,000 employees and a leadership team that works tirelessly to ensure that Cambridge continues to uphold its reputation as a top-notch community destination for residents and visitors alike. The Community Development Block Grant Program was enacted in 1974 by President Gerald Ford through the Housing and Community Development Act. One of the motivations for the act was to replace federal interventions in local development with the judgment of the people who live and work in those communities. In keeping with the focus on providing a rich, vibrant community, the City of Cambridge has partnered with the federal government to administer 4 major entitlement grants from the Department of Housing and Urban Development. These HUD block grants have allowed the city to expand its reach to create affordable, sustainable living environments, provide affordable housing for residents, create economic opportunities for local small business owners, and support low and moderate income individuals and families living with HIV and AIDS.
Cities and towns are the building blocks of our nation. And so the federal government provides, through a community development block grant program, funds to the various cities and towns to support functions such as housing, economic empowerment, homelessness prevention, and so on, to help the cities and towns be as robust and in serving their communities as they can.
I think the City of Cambridge has such a real commitment to community, and I think these funds really highlight what we can do for the community. And so I think we're so committed to making sure these are used for priorities that really have an impact on our Cambridge residents. And so I think while there's so many different things that these funds could be used for, I think we really are committed to the basics, affordable housing, helping local businesses, helping our residents. So that's why these funds are so important.
A lot of the way that we're actually thinking about where our block grant funding goes and how we prioritize is focused on the priorities and policy direction that is coming from the council that we hear from the community. And so you can see it both in a lot of the core programs that we're building around affordable housing, but there are a lot of human service programs that we are investing in, whether that's helping victims of domestic or gender-based violence, supporting the homeless and the unhoused community. I think there are a lot of priorities that we hear that the community really cares about. And that's how we've made decisions about how we can find funding and how we connect it into programs in the city that can really turn that into programs that are making a difference in people's lives.
Affordable housing in Cambridge, as it is in many cities and towns across the nation, is one of the most important issues that face community leaders. Cambridge's commitment to providing affordable housing opportunities for its residents also includes using the Community Development Block Grant funds for the acquisition, preservation, and development of housing units.
We use block grant to fund a lot of our housing support programs. We use them to fund our home improvement program, where we provide low-income and moderate-income homeowners financial assistance to help with home repairs and improvement. We use the funds to support our efforts to organize tenants, to provide housing mediation and counseling services. So I'd say that the block grant is a really important component of our housing services program. We also use federal grants for the home program to help us with housing development, including sites like this, Trolley Square, where we have 40 affordable rental units that were funded in part by Home. With the block grant, we have long-standing relationships with a number of local nonprofits that are working in the housing space. So really we're relying on partnerships that go back 40 and 45 plus years in terms of how we use the funds to support the community. They've been really successful, and we've been fortunate to have those long-term relationships that have helped us put the funds out in the community in a way that really makes a difference.
And one of those partnerships is a long-standing association with De Novo Legal Services.
DeNovo is a nonprofit organization in Cambridge, and we provide free legal and mental health services to those who can't afford them on their own. And within the legal service side, we assist people who are at risk of becoming homeless, whether it's through the eviction process, or we also help people obtain affordable housing within Cambridge. We also have a domestic violence family law unit where we represent victims of domestic violence, helping them go through the court process. We have a disability unit where we help clients obtain SSI or SSDI benefits, their federal benefits. And we also have an immigration unit where we try to help immigrants obtain status, and it's mainly immigrants who are victims of torture or trauma in their own country. They come here and we help them either with an asylum claim or some other humanitarian relief. A lot of times a funder will just give you money and say, go do it. That's not the case with the city. They really work with you, and they bring in the players that should be at the table to the table that really can make it happen.
The program could not function without its partnerships. So I have to take this moment to thank both our incredible staff team, but also our amazing set of community partners in the nonprofit arena. Because while we can really conceptualize a lot of ideas and programs, we can't actually deliver them without the partnerships that we have in the community.
Just to Start is located in the shadow of Kendall Square, the epicenter of the world's life science community. They offer programs that help to guide individuals and families on their path to economic stability through affordable housing, comprehensive support services, and career training. Just to Start is a perfect example of how the block grant funds directly impact our community and our people.
This is a training program that's been around for more than 30 years, so we work with low to moderate income individuals in the Cambridge and surrounding communities to provide them with the foundational knowledge and the technical skills that they need to get into an entry-level position in the biomedical field, which could include a variety of different life science spaces, lab technicians, manufacturing, things like that that contribute to this booming biotechnology field in Cambridge. We are really at the, right where we need to be to make this exciting work happen. I think that there are so many great partnerships that we have with employers and academic partners in the area. So we're really able to get industry insight to help us design and review our curriculum. We're able to get industry volunteers to come in and help our students practice their interview skills, to give tours of facilities, to act as guest speakers for our students. So it's really great.
As is always the case, a spirit of cooperation and collaboration is key to the success of the programs. While there is increasing demand on a shrinking pool of funds, the city has found ways to work together to ensure that all concerns are addressed.
We're fortunate in Cambridge that the level of collaboration across departments is quite significant. So the Economic Development Division, for example, of Community Development works incredibly closely with our Office of Workforce Development. The Affordable Housing portion of Community Development works incredibly closely with our homelessness group as well as the Multi-Service Center. So we have staff who are constantly talking to each other, which means that together we can figure out how to make the best use of funds to support the broad array of needs.
For over 25 years, the City of Cambridge has used community development block grant funding to provide business and development programs and services to local residents, entrepreneurs, and businesses. Over 400 locally owned small businesses have been assisted with grants to enhance their appearance and operations and to remove barriers to accessibility.
The Small Business Enhancement Program is kind of one of our what we call flagship programs, always been federally funded since its inception in 2002, and has been changed over the years. But what primarily it is a program that helps provide marketing or equipment assistance to eligible business owners. And what we mean by marketing could be anything from creating a new website, radio ads, social media ads, maybe mailers, maybe new menu designs. And then for equipment, it could be also everything from a new kitchen oven that they may need to maybe, you know, items like a new point of sale system so they can do that delivery or takeout. So it really runs the gamut, but anything inside the business that will help them improve their operations and marketing.
Been in the city for 41 years. I originally went to the city because I had to find a new location, and I was having difficulty with finding a new location. And I went to the city's economic development department to see if they could guide me to some places or knew if anything was going on. And they did give me some references. I met the director, but then she had me sit with her staff and talk about other resources. And that's how I was able to kind of tap into them. Her staff set me down. I must have spent an hour and a half in economic development and with her staff, and they told me about the different programs and grants and things going on that I may be able to take advantage of. Well, you know, my meeting was great, and the meetings I had that day was wonderful, but to be very honest with you, I thought it was probably protocol and typical city lip service until I left, and they were following up with me. They were calling me, they were sending me paperwork, they were emailing me, and that's when I knew it was real.
With our small business programs, staff really do like to get involved and feel very invested in the project that they're helping someone with. So we try to do a lot of different touch points when we're helping a business owner through a process. So some of the burden can be in the beginning about the paperwork required, making sure they understand it, why we're asking for this information, how we'll use the information, so they feel comfortable participating in the program. And then of course, you know, once to your point, we don't want to just be, here's the money, see you later kind of organization. We really try to make sure we're understanding how did the grants help you? Can you make sure we have the follow-up with them so we know the grant money was used correctly, learn about other needs they may have, because, you know, we do provide a variety of programs and we don't want to just be a one and done kind of department. We try to make sure that we're really listening to the business owner to make sure that, you know, they understand everything that they have to do, but also make sure that they know we're here to stay and we're here to help them with other programs and services as well.
Affordable housing, economic development, public services, preventing homelessness. These are but a few of the areas that are funded by the Community Development Block Grant, a program that has the full support and commitment from city leaders.
I think these funds are all about the community, and I think Cambridge, when we think about Cambridge, I think the number one thing that comes to mind is what we do for our community, because we can do it. And I think these federal funds, we want to make sure we're getting these funds. We want to make sure that our community has access to these funds. So I think it's been a great partnership with our federal government.
I mean, so many of the ways that we're using block grant funding feeds directly into a lot of the city's mission, whether that's providing food to families that need it, whether that's constructing affordable housing or job training programs to connect people into careers in the biotech industry locally. These are all such important pieces of how the city serves our residents and builds a community where everybody can have a chance to thrive. And I think that the partnership that the city's had with federal agencies and the ability to bring these block grants through and turn them into programs that are really making an impact in people's lives, that's something that I'm really proud of the CDD team for. You know, this is really a part of how we serve our community, and really excited for the work that they're doing every day.